10 years ago, we lived through some of the most intense paranormal activity imaginable. That led us to research haunted locations to capture evidence proving the existence of supernatural beings.
Okay, can you, both caution, you're gonna leave tonight.
And help our families being tormented
You're
as we
leave your family alone.
once
You're gonna leave
were.
those kids alone too.
And what we discovered is that the South Coast is wickedly haunted.
That was incredible. That's what I'm talking about. That's proof.
Welcome to Wickedly Haunted on the New Bedford Guide Facebook page. My name is Todd. The lovely Marissa will be joining me in just a second. And this week we have a very special episode for you as we are doing something wickedly local, a beautiful haunted Victorian mansion in the heart of historic New Bedford, Massachusetts. This home was featured recently, well, not recently, but this home was featured on an episode of the Travel Channel show, A Haunting. We saw it a couple years ago. Never could we have imagined that we would be investigating this home, but thanks to the amazing hospitality of the owner, Tracy Barrios, and her husband, Dennis, and her daughter, Jordan, we've been there not once, but twice. Unfortunately, the first time we went, my hard drive crashed, taking with that investigation and about 5 or 6 other ones with it. My mistake. I thought the backup on the computer was backing up the hard drives as well. It was just backing up the PC. So unfortunately, those investigations are lost, but they're such wonderful people. They allowed us to come right back, and we had just as amazing an investigation the second time as we did the first time. Let's put it this way. We ended up with so much evidence that this is actually going to be a 2-part Wickedly Haunted. Part 1 being tonight, part 2 being either next week or the week after, because we just have so much evidence. I could not fit it all into one episode. And tonight I have like 40 minutes of paranormal evidence videos to show you, plus a quick interview with the owner, Tracy, which I'm going to show you right now. And then Marissa will be with me when we come back, and we'll get into some more paranormal stuff and all those crazy evidence videos that I spoke about. So I will see you folks in a few moments. And remember, during the show, please get involved by posting any questions and comments you have, and we'll be happy to answer them after each video. We'll see you in a few minutes. We are here today with Tracy Barrios, owner of this beautiful Victorian house. I know we know a lot of the history, and a lot of it is on the fact that, well, if the audience doesn't know, your house was featured on the paranormal show, A Haunting, on the Discovery Channel, Discovery Plus, Travel Channel, that sort of thing. And for those who don't know, can you just give us a quick brief historical rundown of the history of the home?
The George M. Eddy house was built in 1878. George Eddy was an area merchant. He owned Eddy and Sons. He took it over from his father. He and his brother Abraham took the business over from his father. It was a dry goods store downtown. The building still bears the name Eddy on the top of it on Union Street. He was also involved in St. Luke's, the Y. He was in the Massachusetts House of Representatives. Busy guy.
Yeah. So he was an employed man back then, for sure. He was an employed man, yeah.
Yeah. He married Sarah Brush, and they had 3 children, 2 of which died at a very early age. Little Georgie died at the age of 3 of tuberculosis, and Bessie died at the age of 9 of diphtheria.
And you had told us that the family had kind of tucked away the sick children up on like the 3rd floor type area, possibly even in the attic.
That is what we think. You know, we don't know that for sure, obviously. My husband discovered when you're up in the attic, it wasn't finished. So you've got the joists and then like the dip between the joists. And I think it was it might have been 2 or 3 of those bays were filled with dry feces. And there was a gate with a fence up there that basically fenced off the 2 steps that led up to the skylight. If they had an animal up there, why would they need that? You know? So this is all a big guess on our part, but it seems to fit. And it's horrible. It's horrible.
And I've been up in the attic. And let me tell you, if they did that to those kids, that's some sick stuff. Like that is, as a dad and your mom, Marissa's mom, like to think that they would ever even just sticking the kids up on the 3rd floor by themselves. Like we all know, the 3 of us know that when a child is sick, they want one thing: it's their mom and dad to make them feel better, and to have fatal diseases like that, especially something like tuberculosis, where
That's probably how they didn't catch it, because they had the kids tucked
oh, I'm
away.
sure.
And
Plus,
maybe why,
well,
you
back
know.
then too, it was a great shame upon an important family like this to have anybody who was disfigured or even sick, which was bizarre, or unwed pregnancy, anything like that. They would send women away to, places where there was nuns, and and then they would come back without the baby. The baby would go for adoption. They would do stuff like this. It was just the times.
Yeah,
Just the time.
yeah, I know. Yeah, I hate to think it, I hate to think it about them. I hate to, tell tales out of school.
Yeah,
Like,
without the
but
historical record.
it just all fits. I mean, we even found something up there that resembled a toilet seat, like an old fashioned.
Like outhouse type, like toilet seat.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh.
Oh.
I don't know, but ugh.
Who do you think is there in spirit form?
I definitely feel that Mrs. Eddy is or was here. I feel the little boy. I'm not sure about the girl. But I myself, my husband and I were sitting in the dining room one day. I don't know what we were talking about. It was just the 2 of us. And I looked up, and you never see it dead on. It's always out of the corner of your eye.
Yes.
And I thought I saw a little boy on the chair just outside the door, like peeking in the doorway. A friend of mine, a former investigator, had come here, and she got an EVP plain as day. I've got it. It says she was in Jordan's bedroom, and she was asking the question, "Are you a little boy?" And we heard duck. Was another one that I don't know who it was. It was definitely male. And that's basically the one that the TV show was kind of revolving around, because that one was not good. That was not a good one. I don't think it was demonic. I think it was a
Angry
male spirit. But he had to go. He had to go because he was aggravating me.
I didn't hear anything or witness anything demonic that I would call demonic on while there or in the evidence. So you can rest assured that I'll give you that so you can feel better. I didn't come across anything like that. I did come across some angry EVPs for sure.
We're standing in the washroom between the 2 bedrooms on the west side of the house. I had a hoodie on, and all of a sudden I went, "Ow!" Like that. I put my left hand up to my head, and he said, "What?" And I felt like something just hit me in the head. So I'm groping around in my hoodie, and I pulled out a piece of wood. It was about that. I have a picture of it. It's about that long, maybe about that wide. It was small. Of course, in the TV show, it's a flipping 2x4 that hits. Really? No. But I pulled it out and I showed it to him, and it was a piece of old wood. I pulled it out and I showed it to him. He said he had chills just went up his arm and down his back.
Oh my
And
God.
Dennis is that no nonsense Navy veteran, stuff doesn't, really affect him. He just, But he said he got chills. One female that in the bedroom across the way that I slept in there one day. I was in there after he went to work. I went and I laid in that bedroom, and I couldn't sleep. I laid there in bed and I was watching it get light outside. All of a sudden I couldn't move, and I felt a female presence in that room, and the mattress depressed. I couldn't move. I just all I could do was look at the window where I was looking. And the covers came up my chest, and I could feel like a face right here, but I couldn't see it. I couldn't look. I couldn't turn my head. And then that was it. It was gone, and I was able to move.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That was definitely a more comforting, motherly presence. It still freaked me out because I couldn't move, but it was nothing like that male presence in the bedroom that would, come and get into bed with me and grab me and try to pull me toward it. And yeah.
Oh, being paralyzed in bed is the only scary, like truly terrifying thing that's happened to me involving the paranormal. Everything else I found fascinating. That was not fascinating.
No, exactly.
It's horrifying. It's terrifying.
That had to stop. That had to stop.
You've investigated with us. You've been there. You were standing there. What were your thoughts?
I shouldn't be amazed because I live with it, but I still am. Just to get that validation.
Yeah.
It goes a long way for me. It's just amazing. It really is. Even though I know, as I just said, I know that there's more out there. I know there is. But to think that they're still here.
All right. So here comes Marissa right now, just in time. So we are super excited to be back. It's been a few weeks. We have been ultra busy. We actually took this incredible trip to upstate New York a couple weeks ago to two amazing locations. One right here, the Hinsdale House, an ultra creepy house where an exorcism took place back in the 70s. A couple books were written about it, and we captured some amazing activity there. And we did our first hospital type setting where we went to Wildwood Sanitarium, which is right near Hinsdale House. And it's a place where it's like a tuberculosis hospital. And they did like all sorts of like weird like medical treatments for addiction, alcoholism. They did things like bone stretching, electroshock, hydrotherapy. That both places were out of control, haunted. And we have some great stories for those coming up in future episodes of Wickedly Haunted. But back to this episode. Again, we have tons of video to show tonight, so we're going to get right into it. It looks like there was a few comments if we want to respond to those.
Sure.
And then we're just going to talk about a couple things, and we'll get right into the first evidence video. Just pulling up the comments right now.
All right. So Renee Carr.
Go ahead. Start at
Oh, sorry. It says, phew, almost missed it. Had to click on something else. Sorry.
Thank you.
Thanks
for
so much,
for
Renee.
watching.
We're glad you made it. And Cassandra Souza says hi. Hi, Cassandra.
Hi, Cassandra. Thank you for watching. Click that top one.
Where?
Right there. Yeah. And somebody gave us a bunch of hearts, which we appreciate.
Thank you so much.
We love everybody who watches the show and who's interested in the paranormal. Again, during the show, you're going to see a lot of crazy stuff tonight. Again, this is going to be part one of a double episode on this location. And I really took like some crazy special things that we encountered at this home that we've never encountered anywhere else. And we're super excited to show those. And then we have another whole episode worth of evidence. But we've got about 35 minutes tonight. Before we get into the first video, as always, we just want to mention that if anyone out there is experiencing strange phenomenon in the house and you would like Marissa and I to come investigate, we call ourselves Relatively Paranormal when we're out there doing our paranormal research. Okay, and all you have to do is go to our website if you want to go to the banners there, www.relativelyparanormal.com. One page down is our booking form, and you just fill out a couple things, and we will get right back to you. And we usually come right out and investigate, especially if it's a situation where you are really tormented, as we were in our first haunting that we dealt with. You heard me mention a little bit of it during that interview where I was held down in bed. Marissa was paralyzed in bed once too. So we are completely empathetic with whatever you're going through, whether you just want validation or you're dealing with some really possible demonic terrorizing things. We are always happy to help. And as always, we don't judge, we don't charge. What do we do, Marissa?
We just help.
We just help. Also, we have an awesome YouTube channel with over 112 videos now. 112 videos, every episode of Wickedly Haunted, full investigation videos, quick evidence clips, and I now do ghost hunting equipment reviews. If that's your sort of thing, if you're into paranormal investigation, we review different pieces of equipment that we use. We love equipment because it helps us get what, Marissa?
The evidence.
Corroborating evidence. We love it when all sorts of equipment's going off. We got some of that to show you tonight for sure. Okay. And we have a TikTok channel called Relatively Paranormal. And you're always welcome to join our public Facebook group, Relatively Paranormal. We keep it simple all the way around. Please post your questions and comments during the video. And before we click on that first video, we just want to thank a couple of our sponsors here. If you go to the brand right there. Okay, and just click Ron's graphic right there. Okay. Our first sponsor, Ron from JMG Medical. Marissa's going to read
So
it.
Wickedly Haunted is sponsored by JMG Medical Group. Do you have unused, unopened, and unexpired diabetic test strips at home? And could you use some extra cash in your pocket? Then call our friend Ron today. His number is 508-642-6565. He pays up to $35 per box cash. And best of all, he'll come to you to pick up. Even if you don't live locally, it's not a problem because not only can you send them to him, but he even covers the cost of shipping. There's no faster or higher paying way to sell your test strips. He is also now buying Dexcom G6 and Libra sensors. Also, if you mention that you saw his ad on Wickedly Haunted, he'll give you an extra $5.
And Ron, legit, super awesome guy. And he really does come pick up your test strips and pay you cash in hand like the same day. And our other sponsor, awesome company called Ghost Gear Tech. Marissa's going to read that.
And Ghost Gear devices are on the cutting edge of the next generation of ghost hunting equipment. They design unique devices such as the ultrasonic motion detector that can sense motion up to 12 feet using sound waves, the REM puck, which creates an 18-inch EMF bubble that when broken will alert you with music, and a powerful built-in motion detector, making it a great 2-in-1 device, and the DIY EMF reference board, which detects EMF and has adjustable sensitivity, which is great for making your own trigger object dolls. Each device has a high-quality enclosure made with the latest SLS 3D printer technology. Everything Ghost Gear sells comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee. So if you don't love it, you can return it for a full refund.
Listen, he's like the only guy anywhere online that does something like that with a 30-day money-back guarantee. And we do have the ultrasonic motion detector that Rob was nice enough to send to us to try out. And the thing is incredible. You're going to see some of that device tonight. Absolutely incredible. We love it. And we have an announcement to make. We've actually partnered up with Ghost Gear. So they're not only a sponsor of ours now, we now sell their equipment. We would only sell their equipment through our Relatively Paranormal Equipment shop on the Etsy page if he sold equipment that was just as high quality as ours. We sell, obviously, our power plant energy device, which feeds the spirits the energy and allows us to get the crazy evidence you see on this show. We sell a fantastic ultra night vision light that will light up anything indoors and light a graveyard, an auditorium, will anything. And we are now selling the SLS camera that you are going to see insane evidence of tonight for $275. We are hundreds less than anyone else online, and I guarantee we have the highest quality SLS camera you will find anywhere. Mm-hmm. So that being said, now let's roll the first clip. It's the which one? Okay, and we'll see you in a few minutes. Post your questions and comments, please. While we were setting up for our investigation, this was the first static camera that we set out, capturing this view of the hallway on the first floor. It was lucky that we set it out first because it captured a ton of spirit activity while we were running around putting out the rest of our equipment. We did have a few of our power plant energy boxes turned on first in the surrounding rooms, and one in the back of that hallway is sitting on that huge chair. On top of that power plant, you can see a heavy bag of quartz and amethyst crystals just sitting there, where it remained for almost 30 minutes. Until out of nowhere, it's flung off the power plant, almost clearing the entire side of the chair until it smashes into the floor. I'll do it because it's not easy to turn on because you gotta link it first. You need to find my part, I think. The LCD.
What was that? Where were you, Marissa? You're right there? Okay.
What happened?
Just listening to something, just looking at the phone.
Before we move on to the replays, let's take a look at the bag that was actually thrown. It's fairly large at 6 inches long by 4 inches wide, and when full of those crystals is actually 2 inches high. It's a really large bag and would take a lot of spirit energy in order to lift it up off that box and throw it several inches off the side of the chair. First, let's watch this in regular speed, the enlarged view of the bag being thrown off the chair, followed by the spirit energy orb appearing out of thin air and flying near Tracy's head. Now let's watch that again in slow motion in the enlarged view, in the amazing bag that seems to tumble end over end off the end of the chair, flying to the floor, followed by that crazy orb that appears literally out of thin air and flies over Tracy's head. As we watch this last replay, in the next clip, pay attention to that same exact area. On top of our power plant energy box, you will see a weird circular light swirling around on top of it. We tried to debunk this, but could find absolutely no natural cause for that strange phenomenon. This is an example of dust captured on a night vision camera. As you can see, it looks like snow flying around in flurries in big groups, whereas spirit energy orbs are single moving, brightly lit, flashing, intelligently moving objects that travel at different speeds. For a long time, Marissa and I have believed that spirits use mirrors as portals to both travel through and hide inside of to observe the living. It was at this home that we captured more evidence of this phenomenon, as spirit energy orbs seem to fly in and out of that hallway mirror at will during our setup and investigation. Now, just to drive home this point, I'm going to show you footage captured on a 3D mapping camera in our very home last year of a spirit manifesting in our kitchen mirror and then jumping out of that mirror portal into our kitchen right in front of the table. Do you use mirrors as portals? Yes, we do. That's it, yes, we do. You're looking at a view of my kitchen on both an infrared night vision camera and an SLS camera. Now watch as Brandon gets up. In the mirror behind him on the 3D mapping screen, you see an entity appearing in that mirror in stick figure form. That entity just jumped out of the mirror and now is standing in front of my kitchen table. Seconds later, the entity reappears in the mirror portal and looks absolutely huge. As you can see, I'm provoking it by holding up a cross. That portal in a second is going to shrink down and disappear, taking the entity with it, only to reappear again seconds later, finally disappearing for the last time. So when we say that we think spirits use mirrors as portals, it comes from a knowledgeable and experienced place, as we have witnessed this in orb form, 3D mapping form and heard it from the spirits themselves.
It went in the middle.
It went in here.
Now let's head back to the Eddy house to check out some more amazing footage this static camera captured while we were still setting up. Remember, folks, all this was captured before we even started to investigate.
Alright, so.
Hello.
You want to go here? There's not it. You did, sir. Nope, not it. You did. You got it.
After hearing that bizarre EVP with what sounded like E.T. the extraterrestrial saying, "Get it if you liked it, alright," followed by some angry man saying he did not like it, I felt as though that one deserved to be played again.
You want to go here? There's not it. You did, sir. Nope, not it. You did. You got it. It's amazing, like, good grief. Battleground. Good grief.
Before we move on to the investigation portion of this video, and one quick side note, this picture was taken during our first investigation of this home in the same exact area. If you put your attention towards that door in the back of the room, you can see what appears to be a white mist flowing through it about halfway down. The mist appears to be flowing past the chair. In this close-up you can get a real good look at it, and it seems to head towards the middle of the room. In the very next picture, as we head upstairs, you can see that the mist is still there in that doorway, but it appears to have changed shape slightly. In a close-up of that picture, you can see just how much depth that mist has to it, and if you look real close, you can see what almost appears to be faces manifesting in the mist. What really validates these two pictures more than anything is that after we're already upstairs and that light over to the left is shut off, the infrared light on our camera kicks in and you can actually see more of the room. What's crazy though is that the mist is completely gone. This camera takes pictures every few seconds while it's doing the video. So that was some definitely interesting evidence right there. I know Tracy and her family haven't seen any of this, so I don't know what was really going through their minds as those orbs were flying over Tracy and in and out of their mirror and all that other crazy stuff. But the bag incident was something that we had no clue what had happened. It had legitimately sat there for like half an hour, and it was sitting in the middle of that box. And if you look, it's a shame because we had our best camera sitting in that hallway aimed at that area. about 30 seconds before, and I moved it, and we would have had a much clearer view of it. But it looks like you can almost see, like, as if fingers had lifted up the cloth of the bag, and it flies legitimately from the middle of that chair off. Like, bags don't roll. That's not possible. It's full of crystals.
Very heavy crystals, like big ones.
It probably weighs 3 or 4 pounds at least.
Yeah.
So, like, that's not moving. It's flat, and it goes flying. It goes flying. The other thing is that circular ring that appears on top of the power plant once the bag is gone. I have no explanation for. There's no light down there. There's nothing like that. It's bizarre. It almost looks portal-like to me. Portals are something that we do believe in because we've experienced them. We've seen them. That's why I showed the video of the mirror portal in our house. Brandon had stared at that mirror for 45 minutes, begging a spirit to show its face. We did live in a haunted home. We since had it cleared by a Catholic priest, so hopefully it's not haunted anymore. But he begged for a while for a spirit to show up, and the second he moved, it was there. It was crazy. It was crazy. We couldn't believe it when we saw it, and it jumps in the middle of the table, and then to see it reappear and then shrink up and disappear, there is no explanation for that. It's not a false positive. Nobody was standing over near that mirror, and not to mention it jumps out anyway. It jumps out of the mirror. So you'll see more amazing SLS footage tonight. Believe me. Check to see if there was any comments, and we get it right to the next video. So we got plenty to show. Oh, there's Tracy right there. You might want to slide up.
Yeah, I'm gonna. All right. So
It's right there. That right there. Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
So-
I can see things.
All right.
Thank you. All right. So first, Teresa says so fascinating.
Thank you.
And thank you so much, Teresa. And here's Tracy. We're here, kids. Thank goodness. And here we go. Gail Soar says, this really interests me. We're glad. Thanks so much for watching, Gail.
It is ultra fascinating stuff. It really is. And to see it when we capture it, it's just mind blowing.
And Anna says, there's definitely something out there. I caught unexplainable things on camera and didn't realize for the longest time what it was. Yeah. I mean, growing up, really up until like just a few years ago, I never even thought about it. So I never really even looked for it. But I bet you, like, when you think about all the things that you probably saw that were actually paranormal.
Well, how about the fact that we never investigated the first haunting we lived through? It was almost 4 years worth of a haunting. It's not what it's portrayed as on television in the movies is not. It's not correct. It's not what it's like at all. Things happen when they happen. Sometimes it's every day. Sometimes it's not for months. Sometimes it's intense. Sometimes it's just minor. We never gave it a thought, even when it was going on. You're just living your daily life. You're trying to get through. You know, we had a newborn baby at one point when Julia was a baby.
You're having like a crappy day or something, and like that. You know, you think everything's just life, and sometimes it's not.
And what's fascinating, though, is we went back and looked at some of the pictures that we took over those years, and we're now seeing some paranormal things in the background that we never noticed before.
Yeah,
because we weren't
looking for it. So if you're not looking for it,
it's where we started looking for answers for sure. But it was more in the way of reading lots of books that we could find at Savers on the paranormal, and watching TV shows and documentaries. We started investigating and researching ourselves because we found that what was being portrayed on ghost hunting shows and stuff just didn't line up to what we were experiencing.
Right.
And so how do you get answers from something like that when it doesn't line up to it? It's hard to explain to someone who hasn't lived through a haunting the reality of it. It really is. And, you know, we had a blast hanging out with Tracy. She investigated with us twice. But again, it's nice to hang out with somebody who's lived through it and understands it. And that's why we always have such empathy for people who are like really being affected by it, especially if they're children, and would go right out to help, and we don't charge. Because, you know, we don't want people to have to live through an experience like that. Now, Tracy's house, I never felt anything like negative there. I never felt scared or threatened. Or not that we ever feel scared anyway, but still, it's not that type of haunting. But still, it's you know, when somebody, what it comes down to is a lot of people are afraid to mention it to you because they're afraid of being mocked, which is one of the reasons we do the show, to remove the stigma and hopes of people reaching out for help that need it, who are afraid to. But if somebody mentions to you that they may be experiencing something paranormal, have an open mind and show them some compassion and sensitivity, because the stuff's real. And that's why we show this stuff.
All right. So Renee says she was paralyzed 3 times, which is also very scary.
It's
That's
horrifying.
yeah, that's the scariest.
Scariest thing I've ever experienced.
And then Renee says awesome, and she asked if that was the mirror that fell in the hallway.
It is.
Yes.
It is. Yes. That sure is. So Renee has seen a haunting.
So Sarah says, I'm wondering if the family have thought about offering tours of the home, both for the historical significance as well as for the haunting aspect. I didn't mention the last name just because I don't know.
What was that?
Oops, I just lost it. Sorry.
Have
And
thought
they've done
about
such a beautiful job
offering-
restoring that Victorian home. Yeah, they
A
absolutely.
spectacular job. It looks absolutely fantastic. We love historic houses. You walk in, it's like walking into a time warp.
We didn't ask her if she was looking, but
To what?
if she'd be interested in like trying to show tours around, and it'd be a
don't
good way
know.
to make a little bit of money. But I
I
don't
w-
think
I
that
wouldn't want
Tracy
people
would
in my-
really be into it.
In my house,
She's
strangers,
just a
yeah.
normal person, just
Yeah,
doing
she
her
just
everyday
chill.
thing. Her and her husband and her daughter, and
A couple
her
other people have
dogs.
investigated there. She was friendly with both of them. We even talked to Tracy for a couple hours on video chat before we went there. I wouldn't want just anybody coming into my house either, to investigate or for any other reason if I wasn't familiar with who they are. So, and we enjoyed talking to her that night anyway. We'll talk paranormal with anyone for hours. So.
yeah, we were on the phone for a while. So Tracy said, yes, Renee. So yes, it was the mirror. And Tracy says, so much more work to be done. And Scully says, awesome. In that, it's hard for me to read these. Sorry. Something about those stairs. Someone fell. Did someone fall down those stairs? I don't know.
I don't know. You'd have to ask Tracy. Tracy will answer you.
Tracy says, that's a whole lot of orbs for sure.
And they're fantastic. And people will try to say that orbs are dust, but here's the thing. I showed you an example of dust in the beginning. It looks like snow. It follows the air current, and it's in groups. Like,
oh, wait. It's saying Tracy just said we lost sound.
Did we lose the sound?
No, I don't think so. Can somebody just confirm whether we lost sound or not? Is this?
No, it says the microphone's on.
Yeah.
There's no cross.
No, we can hear. They can hear. Okay.
Okay.
Tracy, better check your phone. No, I'm just joking. No. All right. But thank God she said something.
So what I was saying is spirit energy orbs. If you watched the video, they were flying in every different direction. They're different sizes. They appear out of thin air. They disappear into thin air, and they sure as heck don't appear in mirrors and fly out of them and fly into mirrors. Dust doesn't do that. What I would love for the dust lovers out there, and that's, it's fine to be skeptical, but I want somebody to find a tiny crumb of dust, one single crumb of dust, and fling it in the air, and I want to see it fly away at like 100 miles an hour, take a right turn through a doorway, boomerang back at me, or something else, or just take a cloud of dust and throw it up in the air on camera. I might do this experiment, like with a fan on, and we're just going to watch the dust blow away. A single crumb isn't going to shoot off on its own and flash and be self-lit and perfectly circular and fly through my wall. It's not going to do that. It's all going to go together and follow the air current. That's the way it works. So I don't really know where that comes from. A lot of people prescribe to it, but it has not been our experience. And we lived with a spirit here that we spoke to for almost 2 years, and she told us spirit energy orbs are how they travel.
Yes, and not only that, but she also said that there could be, like, even though it's just one spirit, she could actually be like, she may appear. No, all right, she may appear to be 2 or 3 orbs, even though it's just that one spirit. So sometimes when you see a whole bunch of orbs,
I disagree with
it
that.
doesn't. Well, that's what she told us.
That's fine. Hey, listen, we can have our own opinions.
Oh,
That's fine.
yes,
I
we can.
disagree.
The
But-
spirit.
But they definitely travel in energy orbs.
Yes, they
There's
do.
no doubt.
All right.
Why don't we
well,
rock
we'll
another
just
video
have to
for the
agree
folks?
to disagree.
That's
then.
fine. Listen,
That's-
listen. That's the beauty of it, is because if we both agreed on everything, then nothing would get debunked when it needs to get debunked, and we show each other the evidence that we come across in review, And, you know, if we both don't agree on it, we don't show it. That's it. Period. So,
So there's a lot you guys miss out on. No, I'm just joking.
yeah. So go to
All right.
Brand right there. We have a good time. Listen, we had a great time with Tracy at her house. And it's the short video. We got a short video, and then we'll roll right into a long video. We'll post any more questions and comments. We'll answer those. Then we're going to roll right into another video right after. So it's the
Third floor.
No,
Oh,
no,
no.
no, 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 no. It's number
3.
number 3. Yeah.
She's a good
There you
one.
go. View from our hallway static X camera, and you can see the ultrasonic motion detector circled in blue here. It is pointed down that hallway right now, past the staircase, aimed towards that door and chair in the background. In a second, we're going to move it over to the men's parlor, where the activity was going nuts.
Mr. Eddy, you're doing a wonderful job with that.
All right. I think that's got to go.
They're very happy to see that. That's awesome. Reason.
It's not picking up. It's picking up something. It just went from 13 feet, 10 feet, 4 feet, 6 feet. Is that moving around here? Look at that. Shoot that. Look at that. 3 feet, 6 feet, 9 feet, 10 feet. Look at that. Something's bouncing around in there for sure. Back it up a little bit. Hold on. That's crazy.
Oh, excellent. I'm definitely getting a lot of the energy.
Look at that. Somebody's absolutely moving around in there.
So you're about 3 feet from us right now. 2 feet.
2.7.
You want to come closer? Oh, 8 feet. Come a little bit closer.
Whoa.
1 foot. Great. So you're right here. No, I think it's really screaming. Yeah. About 3 feet from us, so about a yard from us. Are you in the threat room right here?
I knew he was in there. He was in there last time. Hold on, let me bring out the
Right here on the threshold? Is that what it's called? Threshold.
Yeah.
Is that what you're standing?
If you'll notice here, the top of the GS2 laser grid points out the direction of the anomaly that it's mapping. You can see that it's mapping something ice cold on the screen, and the direction is clearly pointing to the right. If you also notice in the middle on the full spectrum camera, the ultrasonic motion detector is also pointed in that same direction, which basically means that both devices are validating each other, which is what we strive for on each and every investigation, and it proves to us that something truly paranormal is being captured in the corner of that room. So we got, he's mapping on the GS2 laser grid system, ice cold.
It says Place Hope Installer.
He's showing up on the ultrasonic motion detector at all sorts of different depths. All right, so that is a great example of what we like to call corroborating evidence. Everything was going nuts in the men's parlor that night, all at once. We even had the REM pod, all sorts of different things going off. We did have a new device that we tried out there that night called the Paratech, and what it is it's a word box that spirits can tap into to communicate with us. You're going to hear that going off in the next video. It sounds kind of robotic, the words. Marissa's reading them off in the video. And we got it because it's very scientific in the way the software and the hardware work together. For a spirit to pick a word, it needs to manipulate the device first by selecting whether it's a word, a name, a number, or a place. Then it needs to select the letter that word starts with. Then it can select the proper word, and then it will come out of the device. Then the device fully resets itself so it will not blast out the same word twice before another word can come out. It's like 10 seconds, I think. Mm-hmm. So it's very scientific in the way it works. Appydroid is the name of the company that makes it, and the guy does phenomenal work. We have another one of his motion detecting devices as well that works great. So we got that, and you're going to hear that in this next segment. So I believe there was just one comment that we wanted to answer.
Yeah. Okay.
Dawn Turner.
Dawn, right? Yep. So Dawn asks, should we worry about spirits that can move or toss objects, call out our names, or touch us? Okay, so human spirits can call your name. They could lightly touch you. It would normally feel like cobwebs for the most part, rather than fingers or a static electricity type feel. Human spirits can only move like a pound or maybe 2 pounds max.
If something is throwing heavy objects, pushing you, scratching you, disembodied voices that are that loud on a regular basis, maybe that could be something nasty and negative. I haven't investigated the place, so I can't tell you for sure, but I will tell you this even about human spirits, and even Tracy has commented about this. They drain your energy. They drain your energy because they have to in order to interact with you, to manifest, to communicate. It's the reason we built the power plant energy device, because rather than them draining us and our equipment, we wanted to give them a constant energy source for them to use during our investigations so that we can capture this nonstop activity that we get and show you on every episode. It's not normally like that when people go out ghost hunting. If you watch any of the shows, they'll show you a few pieces of evidences that they got, and that's it. But with the power plant that we developed, we based it upon research that we did on places like the Bermuda Triangle, Mount Shasta, Skinwalker Ranch. They all had two things in common. What were those two things?
Quartz. Oh.
Huge deposits of quartz and high earth magnetic energy fields. So the high earth magnetic energy field was coming up through the quartz and the amethyst crystals. Those act as amplifiers, and it gives a super high charge. And every paranormal hotspot in the world has this phenomena going on. You even hear them talk about at certain locations. Oh, it's built on bedrock with quartz in it. Oh, it's got high earth, it's on ley lines, which are magnetic energy fields. And that's what the power plant is. It's two energy pumps with these quartz and amethyst crystals in it, and it feeds the spirits. Tracy will tell you herself, she's investigated with us twice, the activity gets very intense. They communicate excellent through all the devices. They do things on command if we ask them to prove that that's what's going on. And all our devices go berserk.
We have never
Berserk.
gone to a location and not gotten a crazy amount of evidence. So we never ever, if somebody tells us that their place is haunted or they believe that there are spirits there, we're going to make contact with them no matter what. We know we will, because what we have is what the spirits need to communicate. And they want to talk, most of them.
And before we went to the Eddie house, poor Tracy was telling us, it hasn't been very active
It might not
here.
be very active.
And I said, don't worry about it. I got a device that's going to amp things up, and that hallway that caught the orbs, those are the only orbs that showed up in all of our 9 cameras. Mm. And it was because that power plant was sitting down at the end that the bag crystals got thrown off of. And then there was another one on the couch to the right. So that hallway was supercharged, and that's where we were. And we were just setting up. None of the equipment was on. Once the setup is done and the investigation began, those petered off, and there wasn't that many of them. That's because they were all in the men's parlor and the ladies' parlor where we were interacting with the equipment. Those are spirits. Every once in a while, you would see one shoot down the hallway or up the hallway. That's just them coming and leaving like a normal person. So, it gets really intense. But if that is really going on in your home, back to your question, you may want to consider having us come and investigate. And if it is something negative or nasty, we can help you out. We cannot guarantee anything, but we can do things up into including bringing our friend who's a Catholic priest who specializes in paranormal activity type clearings to help you out. But there is a process that goes along with it. Again, either relativelyparanormal@gmail.com or relativelyparanormal.com. Either fill out the booking form or send us an email, and we're happy to help out, even just to validate what's going on there. But I digress. We can show another video. Okay, so to set up this video, the first time we went there, we focused on the ladies' parlor, and we caught a lot of activity in the men's parlor. So this time we wanted to kind of capture the whole long area of the ladies' parlor, the men's parlor, and that hallway. Okay, I took out the SLS camera, which is a 3D mapping camera. Okay, so what it does is it uses a depth sensor with infrared beams and an RGB infrared camera to map out the room. And if it maps out anything with a human form in mass, it will show up as a stick figure. Now, if it mapped me or Marissa, you would see our outline of our regular body with a stick figure frame inside, almost like bone structure. When you see a stick figure without the outline of the body, that could be a spirit. I say could be a spirit because you can't get false positives if you were to map a tall lamp or a coat rack, but you would know right away because it would be stuck there like this. No arms would move, no legs would move. It would look exactly like the object and it would not do anything. What you're about to see is the complete opposite of that. You're going to see things sitting on couches lounging, but you're going to see something else amazing. And this is like definitely like top 2 or 3 SLS encounters we've ever had.
Yes.
And Tracy loves the SLS camera, so we were so excited for her that this happened in her house. And again, we were focused on the men's parlor, so you're going to hear all of our equipment in the men's parlor going nuts because whoever was in there, I think, was angry that we were focused on the ladies' parlor.
And just to give you an idea, I don't even know if you mentioned this, but the men's parlor is on one side, there's a hallway, and then the women's parlor is on the other. So the only thing that separates them is a nice, big, long hallway, but just so you know, they're like across from each other.
And back in the day, that's how it was. The ladies hung out one area, the men hung out in the other area, and that's the way things were set up. So I don't know whether it was men on one side and ladies on the other.
I do believe that's how they still were in spirit form.
Yeah, but the crazy thing was that, yeah, I do too. But that activity did not stop in the men's parlor for a second.
No.
You'll hear the ultrasonic motion detector going nuts the entire time. And every time it beeps, that means whatever it's tracking has moved, either forward or backwards. So every time it beeps, whatever's in the men's parlor is moving. And our laser grid that uses thermal energy detection, and it maps out figures. If they're spirits, they'll be ice cold. It had a blue figure on it the entire time, and that stays blue lit the whole time too while the SLS is mapping something. And then the most incredible thing happens, and that's when we switch the SLS to the men's parlor and something gets caught in there too. So let's roll the video. Enough talking about it. It's awesome. One of my favorite SLS encounters of all time. It's going to blow you away. Wait till you see what the spirits are doing. It says SLS on it, I believe.
Oh, if I could read.
You need glasses. I keep telling you. Listen, she's fighting the power, but I keep telling her, just get the glasses. Look, I got glasses too. I get it. Why do you think she's reading?
I can't even see.
Come on, man.
I swear.
Dude, it's third plus that again. It's above the interview then. It is. SLS piano.
Oh, yeah.
Right
all right.
I don't want to give it. I don't want to give it away.
Here we go.
All right.
Is this Mr. Eddy? Who is this? And this is Mr. Eddy set up one of those devices.
Okay, you can see him mapped out right there. Perfectly.
What's that? Oh, whoa, I just had something. Behind your couch.
Behind.
Oh, whoa! See? Oh, right there.
Yeah. Grave, he said again.
Grave again?
Grave.
I can't believe he's right there.
Right there on top of the piano.
No, somebody's sitting on top of the piano, I think. Let's see the piano.
Right, yeah, it does. I've got that. Excuse me.
Oh, right there, look, somebody's sitting in the chair.
Oh!
Legit. Oh, and another person. Oh my God. There's a third person.
I love this thing
There's
so much.
3 people in that room. Oh my God, I know. The damn.
Ah!
Sitting on the couch.
With his
sprawled
legs
out.
crossed. Oh my God, arms up.
Absolutely. Look at that. Looks like, what? Hi, folks. You chilling on the couch over there? Can you raise your hand up like this? And wave? Wave it like you just don't care? You can have every device in the other room going off. So we have all sorts of company in the men's and women's parlor here today. Amazing. It looks like the person's like putting on a show over by the piano.
Maybe that's right.
It does, like they're like in the old movies when like the actresses would like dance around the piano and like sprawl out on it and like sing and stuff. That's what it looks like it looks like they're like on their arm like sideways and stuff. It's crazy. And it looks like this guy right here is watching the show. You know what I'm saying? Are you watching the show, sir? Who's putting on a show on the piano? That is absolutely stunning and incredible. What are you singing? Hello, my baby. Hello, my darling. Hello, my ragtime. Is that your jam? I don't know too many oldies. Oh my God, it looks like it's touching the head of the other one. That ultrasonic motion detector.
It's a Christmas.
Absolutely bonkers
Anything
over
Christmas
there.
on? Retire. Oh,
It
the
is?
guy told you to retire.
Oh, come on, man.
Oh, then it said non-stop, then it said devil.
Oh, stop. Devil? Good God, man. My signal's not that bad, is it? Oh. No. Over here. My God, they're popping up everywhere in here. Hi, folks. What did that just say?
Is that right?
That is
Smart.
Oh, right there. Look over. Oh, my God.
Smart.
There is fees all over this room. Absolutely intense. I absolutely should have left the other counterweight on this, so that was a mistake. It's heavier than I thought. Where'd you go? The show over? Oh, there you go, sir. Oh, he's gone. It's like, it's almost like they're popping in and out of their dimension. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not like they're walking off camera.
Mm-hmm.
They're popping in and out, but it looks like they're doing something like a real live person would do. Like when it was on the couch, it was in the chair, it looked like it was chilling. This person up here on the piano, like, I don't know what they're doing, but... And look, he's back now. Is that chair in this dimension? Are you in our dimension? Look, he's dancing. Hello, my baby. Hello, my darling. Hello, my darling. Look at him. You go. You go, boy, girl, whatever you are.
Oh,
You got some long limbs, man. You like me. You got the long limbs. You must be lean.
Clinical piano.
No,
Get
stop.
out. Swear to God.
You gotta shoot that. Make sure you get a picture of that or on video. That has to be on video. It said piano. If that's not an intelligent response, I do not know what is. Oh, look right there. Oh, that might be the clock. See, that's a
Divine.
false positive, I believe. Where'd you go, folks? All right, let me put on the
Oh my goodness gracious.
Spirito box, and then we'll go upstairs for a few.
So this mapping out somebody right
All
here.
right. Or should we just do the spirit box upstairs and just move upstairs?
And this is telling us 9 feet away from us, 2 feet away from us. Oh, hello, come closer.
I mean, this is just...
8 feet, 2 feet.
Then this thing is mapping the guy on the GS2. That thing's picking up him at all sorts of depths from 1 foot to 10 foot. He's clearly there. Oh, did somebody just map in? Look. Oh, there he is. Look. And there he is finally. In the chair. On the couch. He was on the couch. And as soon as I said he's on the couch, he left.
Well, there's
Wow.
2 people in here because clearly there's somebody right.
Yeah, well, that's that way too.
I'll be sure to tell Dennis when he's down here watching TV that he's not alone.
What did that say?
Cool. What are they collecting? You gotta scroll down.
Define, I don't know.
Yeah, the first one's a piano, then it's a define, and then young and collective.
Good God. And look, it's going to 0, so it's clearing itself.
Crazy stuff. I wonder if Tracy did tell Dennis that this entity was hanging out in his favorite chair. But I'm glad we actually mapped something in the men's parlor too, because all that equipment was going off and going nuts. And it was great to see that too, because that's the antithesis of corroborating evidence right there. You had the ultrasonic motion detector beeping at different depths, the GS2 laser grid mapping an ice cold figure, and the SLS camera mapping somebody while the paratech is answering and saying, really compelling things. I mean, it doesn't get any more compelling than piano. And at first, when I was watching that,
wait, I don't think they were able to see because did it have a picture of the actual piano? Because I thought you could only see it in SLS. There was a piano in the ladies' parlor, first of all, because
of course they could see it. I had the split screen.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then at one point I put an arrow and it said,
all right,
piano.
So
she didn't watch my work before the show. Okay, all right.
I was busy.
I'm offended. Okay.
All right.
Anyway, the coolest thing that it said piano was pretty awesome.
Yes,
you got to admit that was pretty awesome, and that's the stuff that we love. That's the stuff that's exciting. When I heard the little boy on the EVP, at first I couldn't really tell what he was saying. At first I thought he said that you hurt me, but he's got a little bit of an accent, and it's really you hate me. And if you think about it, if the children were locked up on that third floor or in the attic, dying of illness, if I was a child, I would think my parents hated me too. And then a woman comes in and says something about we love you, but that's a tough way to show love. I know things were different back in the 1870s, 80s, whatever, and they would do stuff like that. But to me, my child's sick with tuberculosis or anything else, I'll risk getting the disease to care for them and be there by their bedside, not to stuff them away up on the top floor. And I think that's what you were getting there in that EVP. But we have one more video to show, and it is fully awesome. We have never seen anything like this. I explained it during the video, but I'm just going to give you a quick, brief overview. We went up to the third floor, and Marissa and I have these super duper like camera phones that are out of control, night mode on them, and they see weird things that other cameras do not. And we had our Vortex Spirit Box out that has like a graphic equalizer going, and I'm looking at it, and the equalizer is being blocked by what looks like a shadowy head. And it's only through that camera that we can see it. And then when I watched the other videos that were shooting that area, well, you'll see it in the video. It's awesome. It's awesome. And there's some excellent, compelling direct communication with the Vortex. So let's roll the last video, and we'll see you at the end. I hope you enjoy it. Post any more questions and comments.
All right.
Because this last video is crazy. So
5.
5, yeah, 5 stay alive. Third floor, yeah,
There
right
we
there.
go.
Although we only investigated the third floor of this home for a short time on this night, as I turn on the Vortex Spirit Box, little did we know what we were about to capture. We've captured a lot of strange things in the way of paranormal evidence over the years, but this one ranks near the top of all of them. Wait till you see what we're about to encounter.
You say hi? What? I said, what was all that? I said, what did you say? We have a player, and I can keep it still. Who's here?
Hello, friend?
Who's the shadow in front of the spirit box?
Here's what I am seeing through my night vision camera that is specially made and designed for taking pictures in very low light situation. You can see the Vortex Spirit Box in the middle of the screen. On top of that, I placed one of my power plant energy pumps in order to give the spirits some extra juice in order to speak to us. If you notice, the area in the front of the box where the flashing lights go back and forth like a graphic equalizer, it appears to be a darkened area where it looks like there is a small head blocking out those lights. Even stranger is that when we analyze the photo, it almost looks like an apparition is standing to the right of it with his head up against the power plant energy box. It even gets stranger than this, so hold on.
They can't be. That's just weird. Oh my god. Is anybody moving?
No.
Over here. Who's in front of the spirit box in shadow form? Okay, look, every time the thing's at the bottom bar. See it? Look, see? You see what I mean? Who's in front of that box?
You can see the shadow of it.
Yeah, it's big. It's covering the whole lake. So I'm trying to clear that. Look. There's no way that can happen.
You don't need to look there. You look there at the end of the box. You see it.
I can't see it. I can't see it about it. I can't see it all the way to the rainbow.
Look at the bottom, right in the bottom. Look, you see it?
The lights have disappeared. They go backward. You know that, right?
Yes.
They go back and forth.
Watch, keep watching.
On the left side of the screen is an extreme close-up of my camera that I'm shooting the Vortex Spirit Box with. You're going to see some pretty crazy anomalies on it that we cannot see with our eyes, nor can the other night vision cameras see that's shooting the scene from the back of the room.
What'd you say? Right? Well, you can talk better than that.
So this is the really crazy part. If you look at my cell phone screen, all around the area where the vortex is completely covered with a shadow. Look at it right there. The shadow has completely enveloped that area, but on the night vision camera shooting the whole scene, there is no shadow around that area at all. This is one of the most bizarre things we have ever seen. Marissa was using the same exact camera, only in video mode, and now you'll really get to see what we were both seeing at this time. Check this out. This shadowy area pointed out by the arrow on the right hand side should not be there, and on the infrared camera that area was not blocked out. At one point it becomes almost completely blocked out, and as you saw on my phone, the shadow right there, look at it, is completely covering the graphic equalizer on the Vortex Spirit Box. We have never witnessed anything like this before, seen anything like this before, and we're absolutely blown away at what we were witnessing.
Would you like us to leave? Can you say goodnight?
I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what. Why are you so on that if it's dead?
I'm using the light.
If somebody walks in front of me right now and shows me their face right in front of me, I'll leave right now. Do you hear that? What's that knocking? Can you show yourself? What's really amazing about the phenomenon you just heard was that an EVP came over our microphone, which is a spirit voice, out of the ether, not heard at the time of recording, followed by the same voice coming out of the Vortex Spirit Box, manipulating the software in there to speak through that as well, saying the same exact thing. It transfers?
That's what I thought I said too.
That's weird. Transfers what? Is it a portal?
People think, what?
I heard that.
Yeah. What was that?
The kid. What is it? What is it like to be dead? Don't make me. Is it fun to be dead? How many live people are there in this room? How many?
This is pathetic.
Did you just say 3? The magic number? I said that like 3 times. Did you hear that? Yeah,
I couldn't make.
that was awesome. So I said that like 3 times. So what you just heard was direct communication through our Vortex Spirit Box with entities answering our questions in an intelligent and prompt manner. Now for a collection of some of the best pictures that we captured of this incident, and wait till you see how those came out. And if you had any doubts about that shadow entity that's operating in front of the vortex, those doubts will be gone in a few seconds. Now let's check out a few of the amazing pictures that we captured during this incident. If you look at this close-up of the Vortex Spirit Box, you can clearly see a spirit's face on the right-hand side of the vortex in shadow figure form. Here is the regular version of that picture where you can see that head in the right-hand corner, its shadow completely blocking out the lights. Here's the original picture of the woman apparition, and I wanted to point this out because there's a suit in the back of the room that you can clearly see is way behind her. And now in the money shot, we can see 3 apparition heads appearing around the vortex, looking absolutely insane. Those are some of the creepiest apparitions we've seen in a long time. Wow. But the one leaning over the vortex and putting its head up to the power plant in order to energize themselves, I would assume, is amazing. That's amazing. There's not a lot of features in the face, but if you had the picture yourself, or if you take that picture and screenshot it and look at it, it is a full-out apparition, and the suit is way in the background, so it's not the suit. You can see legs, like a black dress, an arm, a head, and you can even see the other hand like grabbing onto the back of the spirit box, almost to brace itself. It's pretty amazing. But poor Tracy didn't know what we were talking about at the time because she's sitting back at the table, and Marissa and I are freaking out up front. So now she got to see what we were talking about.
We were like whispering, we're like, do you see what I see? Yeah, but don't let them, we were talking, because we didn't want the spirits to know, because sometimes
they'll take off.
Yeah, they'll leave,
off.
Or they try to hide, whatever.
We
so
used to
like,
yell
we're
out,
like,
yeah.
oh my God, try not to freak out. So Tracy didn't really know what was going on at the time.
We used to yell out stuff like, can you take a picture for us? And come on out. They don't like that. They don't like to be caught on camera. They don't like the SLS. They don't like the flare. They get pissed. So we don't try not to yell that anymore or talk about it, because then they'll take off. But the pictures at the end really drive home, and we have tons of pictures about that incident. It really drives it home what we were seeing. It's not shadows. It's not us. It's not. There's only one light source. It's that camera in the back of the room, and it is not any shadows that the pictures show it.
I'm going to post the photos that I have on relatively paranormal.com. So if anybody's interested in seeing them, I have some crazy ones that I got on my phone, and I'll post them on tonight.
And you can see at one point through my camera, when I'm not taking pictures, the entire area gets blacked out. It was amazing. It was absolutely amazing. It really blew my mind. It blew my mind. And I hope everybody loved not only the piano playing SLS figure, which was awesome. At first, I thought it was like one of the old time movies with the woman sprawled out across the piano, singing. But you can see the arms banging away on the keys on it. And I was like, whoa, is somebody actually playing the piano? And I hope everybody loved my song. Hello, my baby. Hello, my darling. Hello, my ragtime. Yeah. This is from a cartoon. If anyone knows the cartoon, please comment, even if this is in replay, because I forget what cartoon that was from. It's a joke. I don't know any oldies.
Anyhow,
we had an absolute blast. And we want to thank Tracy, Dennis, and Jordan for having us in their home, not once but twice. They are wonderful people, super awesome people, and we really appreciate it. And we thank them from the bottom of our hearts, because I was heartbroken when when the hard drive broke, and I didn't even want to tell Tracy because I knew how excited she was to see it. We did salvage a couple of crumbs of evidence that were on our phones or were still on like an SD card that we hadn't overwritten yet. But to have a 2 terabyte hard drive just blow out with like 6 investigations.
Yeah, we lost 6 or 7 investigations that we had traveled far for, and but the first time we'd gone to Tracy's house happened to be one of them that we lost, and that was pretty crappy. But
her response was awesome. She was like, "Yeah, no problem. Come right back. When do you guys want to come?" And we ended up capturing some stuff that was even more fun to watch. So
yeah, for sure.
We thank you, Tracy,
thank you
Dennis,
so much.
Jordan. You guys are awesome, great family. You guys did a wonderful job with that house. It's beautiful. And we're gonna do another episode on it because you guys haven't seen nothing yet. I mean,
hang on, wait a second.
What is it?
Anne says, I know that cartoon. And
that's Tracy.
Yeah, Tracy says, yes, the dancing frog. Yes. Warner Brothers.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh my God, that's so funny. That's where I got it from. It was the cartoon. I couldn't think of what to sing to these ghosts. So.
And hi Tracy, I missed a lot. This is it'll be available.
Yes, you can watch it anytime on New Bedford Guide. We'll post it on Relatively Paranormal as well, and it will be on the Relatively Paranormal YouTube channel in a couple days. And on the website, there's video plays for everything on the website as well. So we post all of it as quick as possible, but it's always available on New Bedford Guide. And there's a playlist on there as well, so you can always see it. Be careful of the wires, honey, okay?
And Sarah says, this was super awesome, but I'm not coming over like ever. Tracy's losing
The
friends.
ghosts are cool there, man. They're funny. I mean, you got to understand one thing, too. The power plants, if there's a spirit on the land that is around there, and you guys haven't even heard nothing yet about that. We'll get into that next episode. But, the power plant allows them to communicate as well. So it doesn't allow them to move into the house, but they can talk and they can interact as well. So
real quick, Teresa says, thanks for the work you do, and thank you, Tracy, Dennis, and Jordan. Love you guys.
Thank you for the compliment. We appreciate it. We really do. It makes us want to do the show, and that's why we do it.
Yeah, absolutely. And Renee's laughing. Tracy, thank you too. It was a great time.
Yeah, we had a blast with Tracy. She's awesome.
And great show. I'll be there anytime. I live for it. All right, you guys have a great night.
Listen,
thank you so
from
much.
Our family to yours, thank you so much for watching. We love you guys. We love doing the show, and we will see you soon with part 2 of this investigation. Listen, I have like 10 more pages of evidence written down to produce into video. So
there is a part 2.
It gets crazy. There will be a part 2. That'll be the next episode. Good night, everyone. Right. Click the end broadcast. End broadcast.